Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Monster vs. Monster here on the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel. My name's Andrew and I will be your commentator, monster fighter, and spectator for tonight's event. What are we doing here? Well, as the name implies, we're pitting monsters versus monsters. If you haven't seen an episode yet, then, hopefully you'll enjoy this one and it'll be a lot of fun. So, what's going on here? In tonight's episode, we have goblins versus technically fairies. That was the submission, so I just kind of switched it up a little bit because there weren't too many quote-unquote fairies, as far as I'm aware. And I went with a few modified changes for our Fae side. Yes, Lucan up Tech. Hello, let's go, for sure. So, we have our goblins here on this mountaintop. I thought this might be an interesting map for tonight's battle. As I was picking out monsters, I was trying to think of what would be a fun map here. And when I saw that I was going to pick a Dryad for the Fae side, I said, let me look at what I got for maps. And I started perusing Chain Peku's map selection and found this lonely tree at the top of this, what's technically an observatory here in this mountainside, and thought, okay, this would be an interesting spot for a lone Dryad to be hanging out here with a few, we'll say, bodyguards of sprites and blink dogs. And what could be going on? We have the goblins, and we haven't seen anything from Friz and Boss Shalt in some time, so I figured they're going to be acting up here and seeing about finding a new territory since, last time we saw them, they were ousted by a group of kobolds. So, for tonight's episode, maybe the goblins here are looking to take back this mountain region here, and, or not necessarily this mountain region, but make this a new home for their base of operations. They just got to clear out a few pesky Fae creatures that are, guarding the area. So, let's go ahead and meet our combatants. And on the goblin side here, as I mentioned before, we have Boss Shalt, who is a goblin boss. Oh, I'm on the wrong item again here. Very typical creature here, nothing for spells, just nimble escape, multi-attack, and a scimitar and javelin, as well as redirect attack. So, Goblin Boss here, or Boss Shalt, will definitely be staying within 5 feet of another goblin to redirect all those attacks as a reaction. After that, we have 4 regular goblins, although one of them is our longtime fan favorite here, Friz, who we haven't seen in quite some time because, Boss Shalt has been keeping a good close eye on Friz after last time. And all of our goblins here are very mundane, nothing too special. They just have their short bow and scimitar, as well as nimble escape. Although, unfortunately, there's not too many places to hide here. So, nimble escape may not be the best option for them. Anyways, on top of that, on the Fae side, we have ourselves the Dryad, Lydia. And for her spellbook, we have Barkskin, which will be cast right now because why not? So we'll go ahead and take care of that before battle gets going. Oh, I got a target. Okay. Yes, cast that, and blammo, we have Barkskin on our Dryad, because why not? That would have been cast right away in the beginning. After that, we have 2 Blink Dogs by Kielbasa, and Ludwig. We have Ludwig and Kielbasa, the Blink Dogs, as well as Cotton and Lotus, our 2 sprites, who are, 2 hit points here. That's about it. Hopefully they can hold out long enough. But they have a short bow, a long sword, Heart Sight, which is, let's see here. The sprite touches a creature and magically knows the creature's current emotional state. Well, that's kind of pointless here. As well as invisibility, which is going to be super helpful with only 2 hit points. And then leather armor. So, now that we've met our combatants, let's go ahead and start rolling initiative after I take a look at chat. Really rooting for Team Dryad. Love their tree step ability, although I only see 1 tree here. Yes, that is the unfortunate side effect of whatever's been going on in this mountaintop. Luca? I'll just go with Luca for now, it'll be easier. Yeah, there's no other trees. There might be some trees a little further down, but sadly, there's really no way for the Dryad to do a tree stride and escape. And Flameloud says, honestly, probably the Fae. Goblins don't have the magic to back themselves up. That is true. They do have a lot of range support, but beyond that, who knows what'll happen here. So, now that we've checked in with chat, let's go ahead and begin combat. Yes, the drums have sounded, and we shall roll initiative. Let's see here. All the D20s come rolling in. Still voted for the Goblins, though. The Chaos Potatoes. And it looks like we have Ludwig going first, followed by Friz, Numbleegg, Vilk, Cotton, Pirga, Boss Shalt, Kilbasa, Lotus, and then finally Lydia. I gotta turn my volume down a little bit. It is just a wee bit too high on my end. Now that I can hear myself think and talk, let's go ahead and start with Ludwig, number 1 in round 1 of combat. Alright, so go ahead and get rid of that targeting on Lydia here. And Ludwig is, what's Ludwig gonna do? Let's see. Ludwig has a 10 intelligence, so they have average intelligence, so they're not just gonna go rushing into battle. What do we got for features, though? We can teleport, which is charged. We have keen hearing and smell, and a bite. So, more than likely, we could say that, yeah, maybe through the sounds and whatnot, Ludwig has gone ahead and alerted everyone to the presence of the goblins that are infiltrating. And, you know, we will go with that. So, with 40 feet of movement, yeah, the gobs might get stomped. Very good, very likely, Ian. Let's go ahead and move up 40. We will go 40 to here, and then put Ludwig on dodge. Okay. Dodge action for Ludwig as he's growling and snarling at the sounds and smells that are coming up the mountaintop here. And we move on to Friz. Friz, let's see here. It's going to probably would have attempted a sneaky stealth check prior to this. We're not going to worry about nimble escape. They would have been stealthing up anyways. But let's see what their stealth would have been. So we will go ahead and roll a stealth check. And, oof, yeah, with a base 2, total of 8, our goblin here is not definitely stealthing anywhere. Alright, so with that we have 30 feet of movement, and they will go ahead and kind of climb up this mountain here and see what's going on. And can see right off the bat that our blink dog is right here. So he's going to go ahead and draw his short bow and go in for an attack. Alright, so one short bow attack. Unfortunately, without any kind of advantage, and misses Ludwig with a total of 11 and could have dealt 8 points of damage. All right, that is Frizz's turn as they've moved and shot. Up next is Numbleegg, and Numbleegg is also going to do the same. We're going to go ahead and move up. Let's see, can we even get there? No, we can't because they can only move 30 feet, right? Yep. So 5 to here. And we'll do something like this. Comes rushing up, draws the short bow, and we'll also go ahead and make an attack somewhere. Since Ludwig hasn't been hit yet, we'll go for another shot. With our short bow drawn, going for the attack. Oof, that was a 19 and a 1 here, and unfortunately that is going to be a miss as well, as our blink dog Ludwig just dodges out of the way of another short bow arrow. Gotta tell you, as a side note here, in my first campaign I ran back in like 2014 or so, I kept accidentally saying short bow bolts, so I was confusing the ammo types. It was really funny, and it just became this like long running gag with everyone. Alright, so Numbleegg moves and attacks, and that is the end of their turn. Moving on, we have Vilk, and Vilk also scrambles up. We'll try a sneak action with their ability there. Nimble action, there we go. Or nimble escape. So we're going to go ahead and do nimble escape and go for that stealth check. And we got ourselves a 10 for a total of 16. And Ludwig's passive is a 13. So we will definitely get the bonus here for that. Yes, definitely, Lucan. The Dryad's Fey Charm will definitely entangle. The Fey Charm or entangle might come in handy. Alright, so we will go ahead and scuttle up 5 feet to here, and then another, say, that would be 20, and we'll come on over here for 30 feet up into this little, right on the rocky ledge here. May not be the best spot, but, now that he's kind of come up here and surprised the blink dog, we'll go ahead and make an attack at advantage, which should negate the attack, and make this a standard roll. Oh, there we are. Base 19, 23 to hit, and that's 5 points of piercing damage as Ludwig is finally hit and yelps with 5 points of damage. Moving up next, we have Cotton, And Cotton is all the way up here. And let's see here. Cotton is going to go invisible with their action, since, you know, they've only got a couple hit points. They've really got to make sure they know what they're doing here. And, yeah, I guess they're going to go invisible. So we'll go ahead and use that. Target themselves and use the invisibility trait here. So they are now officially invisible. And Cotton will go ahead and move. Let's see here. What's their movement? 40-foot flying speed. Okay. So stealthily, Cotton will come flying over to here while invisible. Alright, after that, now that Cotton's used their action to go invisible and move, we have our last goblin, Pirga, who's also going to attempt the nimble escape feature and see about doing a stealth check. Alright, stealth is over here. We'll go ahead and roll stealth. Oh, that's definitely a 19 for a total of 25, and they go invisible as well. So we'll say they go stealthy for a moment. 5 feet to there, another 5. So that'll be 30 feet total. Yeah, we'll do that. 30 feet total. And then pops out, goes uninvises, and, you know, does another shot at Ludwig, since, you know, closest target there. So this will be an attack with advantage, since they were stealthed, and that'll be a base 9, total of 13, and misses Ludwig. That dodge action was super important for Ludwig to avoid all these attacks, since the goblins are focus firing. They're not being foolish this time around. Alright, up next is Boss Shalt. And let's take a look at Boss Shalt again. We have a multi-attack option of 2 scimitars. The second attack has disadvantage, so that's good to know. Or 1 javelin throw. And how many javelins do they have? They have enough. That's how many javelins they have. Alright, so Boss Shalt also has nimble escape, at least he should. We'll go ahead and have him do this as well to try and stealthily go. Oh yeah, they probably shouldn't have moved so far while they were while they were stealthing up. Okay, I'll retcon a little bit here. So to get Vilk all the way up here, he would have attacked normally. So let's give him a disadvantage attack. Real quick, we'll roll one more time, and that still would have hit. Okay. So Boss Shalt can't nimbly... Well, yeah, he'll nimble escape and go stealthy just for the heck of it. So he will only be able to go... Oh, no, yeah, they could have fully moved too. I forgot. Nope. Excuse me, it's been a while. Right. The bonus action was to use the nimble escape to hide. Then they would have moved. Yes, so they totally couldn't have. Although Boss Shalt can definitely go 30 feet. So he will be hidden up here on the ledge. Alright, so that is Boss Shalt's turn. You know, he's been a boss. And moving on, we will have Kielbasa next. Kielbasa is over here and will come rushing in as well. Can only move in 40 feet. They're smart enough to know that, you know, they... Oh, wow, look at that. Oh, no, poor Friz. Kielbasa just bellows out this nice bark and comes charging up to Friz. Oh, Friz, I hope you can dodge out of the way of this attack. And we got, let's see here, what do we have for features? Teleport and a bite. So, 1 bite attack on Friz. And that's going to be a base 5, and Friz dodges out of the way as this blink dog comes in, barks, and attacks. Question is, do we save the teleport or do it now? Because everyone is rather close by. Okay, let's see here. We will, teleport is what? Is that an action or a bonus action? Oh, it's an action. Okay, so we can't do that. Perfect. Okay, moving on. We have Lotus and then Lydia, finally. So Lotus is also going to go invis since they can't really get anywhere close enough to do anything. Although they could do a short bow attack. But the invisibility would be much better use, giving them advantage on the next turn. Alright, invisible. And we'll come flying to kind of flank over to here. And that is Lotus's turn, going invis and moving. And then finally... we have our Dryad, Lydia. And what is our Dryad going to do? Let's take a look here. Well, we have Barkskin, which technically was already cast. Pass Without Trace, which doesn't really help. We have Entangle, which could be super handy, considering all of our goblins are technically in a row here. So, what is our range on Entangle? Our range is going to be 90 feet. Oh yeah, definitely. More than likely we can do this from here. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, easily. Lydia can go ahead and entangle up the goblins. So that's what she's going to do. Let's go ahead and give this a go. Oh, shoot, we are concentrating on bark skin. All right, well then, I guess we won't be doing that because I wasn't paying attention to concentration spells. So we will go ahead and instead do our... I guess we'll try Fey Charm. All right, and let's take a look at that then. Any humanoid within 30 feet. Okay, so we just got to get within 30 feet. And she can move 30 feet herself. So let's go ahead and move up to here and see if we have any humanoids within 30 feet. Oh, we have 2. Okay, so Lydia is going to go ahead and target Pirga, who isn't hiding, and whisper some, giggle and chuckle in that really quite fey alluring way to try and charm Pirga. So let's see what happens here when we use the feature, Fey Charm. Alright, so with our really awesome spell effect burst on Pirga, we have a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw, and Pirga fails with an 11. Pirga is now officially charmed. So let's go ahead and mark him with a charm. I think Pirga, I don't remember. Anyways, Pirga is officially charmed. So let's see here. With the charmed condition, a charmed creature can't attack the charmer or target the charmer with harmful abilities or magical effects. The charmer has advantage on any ability checks to interact socially with the creature. That's pretty handy. And the Dryad can have no more than 1 humanoid and up to 3 beasts charmed at a time. Okay. Each time the Dryad or an ally does anything harmful to the target, repeat the saving throw, and let's see here. Although the target isn't under the Dryad's control, it takes the Dryad's requests or actions in the most favorable way it can. Okay. Each time... Otherwise, the effect lasts 24 hours or until the Dryad dies, is on a different plane of existence, or ends the effect as a bonus action. If a target saving throw is successful, the target is immune. Okay, so for all intents and purposes for the time being, Pirga is now charmed, and she requests Pirga to defend her. So it looks like Pirga has now possibly switched sides. We'll see what happens as we get to Pirga's turn, as we end round 1 of combat here and go to the top of round 2 with Ludwig. But, as per usual here, to make things a little spicy, I like to roll a D100 to see if anything random happens. Alright, on a roll here of D100, we get a 17. Looks like nothing happens on round 1 of combat here. Okay, let's see here. Lucan says, it also regards the Dryad as a friend to be protected. Yes, exactly. Perfect. So we will say Pirga is defending. Come on now. What am I doing? Here we go. Getting rid of that targeting. Pirga is now going to defend Lydia. All right, Ludwig is up first, and as Lydia says to protect me, that is kind of a cue to the others not to target Pirga. So Ludwig is going to charge Vilk here, because he does have a 10 intelligence, so he does know how to do other actions besides just bite. And he's actually going to go ahead and try to ram into Vilks, pushing him off the edge. And we'll say that's, let's see here, 5, 10, 15, yeah, about 20 feet fall damage, possibly. So Ludwig's going to come here and charge in and do a kind of like bash attack. So I guess this will be their Vilk's acrobatic escape versus Ludwig's, what would that be? Probably athletics to go ahead and bash into him. All right, so with that, we will roll an an athletics check by Ludwig. With a total of 17, Vilks has to dodge out of the way with a acrobatics check. Ooh, fails! And Ludwig just comes barreling in and hits Vilks head on with a nice strong headbutt and plops Vilks 20 feet down onto the ground. All right, with that, Vilks is going to take, what is that, 2d6 fall damage for, what is it, every 10 feet? Not a whole lot of damage, but still, that's going to be 7 points of fall damage. And it's exactly enough. Oh, no. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, and you just hear this horrible thud as the goblin tries to save itself but doesn't, and falls to its doom, and just as body hits ground, falling 20 feet to the floor here. And that is our first KO of the night, as Vilk is sadly defeated by Ludwig's charge. First blood by gravity. Oh, that's exactly right, Lucan. Hilarious. All right, and then that was, let's see here, how far was that? It was only like 15 feet of movement, so Ludwig is going to back up another 15 feet and get into protective stance between itself and Lydia. All right, up next is Friz, and Friz doesn't like being next to Kielbasa, and will use the bonus action to disengage, because we have nimble escape here. So we can disengage, hide, disengage or hide as a bonus action. Okay, so disengaging with the bonus action, Friz is going to, let's see here, Friz is going to move over to here, 20 feet, and target Kielbasa, because that's all he can see. So with the short bow attack, going to go ahead and take an attack here. Oh, and fails horribly with a total of 5. Friz is just caught off guard, hearing his goblin companion fall to their doom, and is probably shaken from this, unfortunately. And that is Frizz's turn. Let's see here. Another, let's say, 10 feet, and backs up again, trying to keep as much distance from Kielbasa as possible. Up next, we'll have Numbleg. And Numbleg here doesn't know any different from Pirga just yet, and we'll move up. Patrick, good evening. Hello. Thanks for stopping by. You are catching us at the top of round 2, and unfortunately, we had ourselves a goblin fall to their demise as Ludwig came crashing in and headbutted him off the edge. Alright, Numbleg doesn't know that Pirga has really been charmed by the Dryad, and is going to move up to attack Kielbasa. Dropping their short bow back here, they draw their scimitar and go in for the attack. Okay, and we only get one attack, so that's going to be, a horrible base 3, and misses with a total of 7 against Kielbasa. Alright, that is, well, let's see here. What are they going to do? It's going to shift a little bit. No, he'll probably just stay right there. Okay. Up next would have been Vilks, but unfortunately he's been defeated. And then next we have Cotton, who is over here, still invisible. And we will say they're flying, I don't know, we'll just put them at 10 feet for now. And it will continue moving around to try and flank here. So we'll go ahead and flank over to here, roughly. Kind of flying over the edge, and goes in for an attack of opportunity. Not necessarily an attack of opportunity, but an attack of advantage against Numbleg, since they're right there. Okay, and with the invisibility, they go in for the attack using their short bow drawn. Click the wrong person. There we go. Short bow at advantage. 17 base total, 23 to hit, and Numbleg is hit for 1 point of damage, but now must make a Constitution saving throw with a DC 10. Okay, invisibility was removed, thankfully, by the game, and now we have, let's see here, DC 10 Constitution save or become poisoned. Numbleg is now poisoned for 1 minute. If the saving throw results in a 5 or lower, which it didn't, it was close, the poison target falls unconscious. So we will go ahead and target Numbleg with poisoned condition. There we go. Numbleg is now poisoned. A poisoned creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. So, all of a sudden Numbleg gets hit by the back with this tiny little dart. And it's like every time in the movie, so all of a sudden they grab their neck, they're like, hey, what is this? And they got the dart in between their fingers, like, oh, that's how I normally grab something that was, thrown into my neck. I love movie logic. And Numbleg starts to wobble as the poison immediately starts to take its toll and effects on the poor goblin here. All right, that is Cotton's turn as he gives out this short, yeah! Yes, it is definitely a play on Kielbasa, Patrick. It's supposed to be like the sausage, but instead it's more like a lethal sausage. I don't know. Indeed, Flameloud, a very metal way to die. All right, so Cotton is excited for hitting Numbleg, poisoning him, and we move on to Pirga, who is now charmed and enchanted. So Pirga is going to come to the defense of Lydia, and let's see here, charmed only said to defend, so we will go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw here. What is Lydia's spellbook? DC 14? Alright, so we'll go with a DC 14 wisdom save on Numbele, or with Pirga, to see whether or not he decides to actually attack or just do nothing on this turn. Alright, so wisdom saving throw. And that's going to be base 17, total of 16, and does pass Lydia's DC check of 14. So, Pirga is just going to kind of meander up to Lydia, enchanted and entranced by Lydia's Dryad beauty, we could say, and does nothing for this turn. Up next is Boss Shalt, who is next to go here, and will come on out of the shadows, charging, and goes in for the attack on Kilbasa here, using Numbleg as a human shield. All right, attack by Boss Shalt. First attack is going to be at advantage. The second attack will be at disadvantage because of multi-attack rules. So attack number 1 on Kilbasa. And we have a base 8, total of 12. Unfortunately misses with the scimitar attack. And then we go in for a second swipe at a disadvantage because of goblin rules. And we have a base 14, total of 18, and hits Kilbasa for 7 points of slashing damage. Surprising that he was able to actually do that. And there's a yelp from Kilbasa as we move on. Thank you, Patrick. I was just looking to have some fun with these. All right. Up next after Boss Shalt is Kilbasa. And Kilbasa, angered and annoyed about being outnumbered in this attack here, will go in and attack who? Who's attack? They're intelligent enough to know not to attack. Yeah, not to. He's probably gonna teleport out of here instead. So we're gonna go ahead and do the teleport feature. So the teleport is the dog magically teleports along with any equipment it's wearing up to 40 feet to an unoccupied space. Before or after teleporting, the dog can make 1 bite attack. Okay, cool. So because Boss Shalt attacked, Kilbasa is going to go ahead and make a bite attack against and then teleport out. So we'll go ahead and make that attack. Oh, fails after getting sliced and hurt by Boss Shalt, and then growls and teleports away. Okay, so our puppy here teleports right next to Lydia. And that will be their turn. Okay. After that, we have Lotus, who was sneakily flying over here, and will continue. Well, yeah, Lotus is going to fly over to here, and then with the fact that they are invisible, go to attack Friz as well. And will do so with advantage on their short bow. All right, advantage attack on Friz. Base 1, base 5. Oof. And that is a miss. Friz is able to see that this Lotus person, this little sprite, comes out of the, hears the buzzing, and then, decides, oh, this isn't good, because Friz is one of our special goblins, and dodges out of the way of being hit by a short bow, poisoned short bow too, and luckily is not poisoned. All right, that is Lotus's turn as they do a little bit of moving and will hold their ground, kind of, anger. He's like, come on, over here, hit me. And we move on to Lydia, who is concentrating on the spell there. And let's see, what else can we do with Lydia? For the features, we have a club. I'm pretty sure we can't do Shillelagh. Pretty sure that is concentration, I think. Or maybe it isn't. Cantrip, bonus action, touch. Well, let's see what happens. It'll warn me if I can't do it or not. She'll target herself, hit up the Shillelagh, consume the spell, and she's going to hit herself. Of course. All right, so let's revert the damage here because I didn't realize it was going to hit herself. She is still... All right, I got to give her back her silly... she lost her concentration too. Oh, that's funny. Okay, let me get her back her bark skin. There we go. She's got her bark skin back. And she's not going to target herself. So she's going to move on up. And let's see here. Attack someone here. She's going to use Shillelagh as a bonus action. And move on up to Boss Shalt. And go in for the attack. Since Boss Shalt hurt her puppy. Alright, so let's do this again. Uses the Druidcraft to make the attack at magically, and yes, let's see here. Where did it go? Oh, the bonus action. There we go. Okay. Alright, so we need to make an attack roll, I'm pretty sure. Wood of the Club. D8 also is magical. Spell. Alright, let's revert that real quick. And we'll just make a normal roll because it's being silly. Okay, so that's going to be a miss. Regardless. And Boss Shalt dodges out of the way without having to worry about redirecting any kind of attack and doesn't take any damage whatsoever. Alright, so that is Lydia's turn, and at the end of... Yes, it is, Hair Doctor. It is on much earlier than usual. We are just finishing up round 2 here, and we are going to the top of round 3 to do another D100 check to see if something happens. Alright, and with that, we have ourselves a 15. Yet again, nothing happens. What is the challenge rating for this draft, Vincent? This is a CR2. We have our Boss Shalt and Lydia at CR1, and all the other creatures are CR1 quarter. Patrick is wondering which team to vote for, but Kilboss is his boy. It's their boy. Go Team Faye. I love it. Oh, that's great. Oh man, so much fun. All right. Top of round 3, we have nothing going on with our secret D100 roll, and Ludwig is up again. And let's see here. After attacking and pushing Vilk off the ledge, Ludwig goes in, rushes up to Lydia's aid, and goes in for an attack on Boss Shalt. Going in for a bite. All right, bite attack. That's going to be, a base 5 with an 8. Nothing happens, and that's unfortunately a miss here for Ludwig. All right, that's Ludwig's turn as they move and go in for the attack. Friz is up next. And Friz is not liking what he's seeing here. He's going to turn and attack Lotus and go ahead and try to make a short bow attack against him. Not advantage. We are just taking a regular roll here. And we'll see. Ooh, base 9, total 13. Lotus quickly, with the Sprite quickness, dodges out of the way and avoids being hit by a short bow attack. Yes, kill Bassa. Now kill Bassa. Alright, so unfortunately Friz misses with the attack and starts to back up a little bit, concerned about what they're trying to do up here because Boss Shalt is being a goblin and, pushing everyone around. That's Frizz's turn. Up next we have Numbleg, who is poisoned for, I believe, 1 minute, and will continue the attack. So Numbleg's going to move on up and go in and try to attack. Seeing that defense here, he'll give it a shot. He's already dropped the bow and will go in for an attack. Oh, actually, no. Yeah, can't reach Cotton over here. So he's going to go in for the attack against Lydia to see what happens here. Give it one shot. So he goes in and has his scimitar out and attacks. Okay. Why was he rolling at disadvantage? Is it the spell? It spends. The target's skin has a rough bark. That's weird. I don't know. Oh, because of the poison. Derp. That's right. Okay, I found it. Base or total of 11 to hit. Misses with an 8, and still wobbling around from the poison. Numbleg continues on. I just want to double check real quick to see if the short bow. When does a poison? Oh yeah. All right. So this is just. Yeah, this is just straight up poison for a minute. Okay, cool. All right, so that's Numbleg's turn, and we move on to Vilk, who is unfortunately dead down here. And then we move on to Cotton. Let's see here. The Hair Doctor, is it just me, or is the music really loud compared to the voice? Yeah, it might be. I'll turn the music down a little bit more. Let's see here. I got it down to about negative 35 decibels. It's hard to tell where, because like my peak noise is hitting the yellow, but I have a little black marker as well, and that might be where my voice is actually coming through, so the music might be overtaking it. But I have cut the music way back, so hopefully that's better. Thank you, Patrick. Yes, it's a decent mic, nothing too crazy. All right, now that we have Numbleg's turn out of the way, Cotton is up next, and Cotton is going to go ahead and take advantage, now that he's already poisoned Numbleg, to try and poison Boss Shalt here. So Cotton is going in for the short bow attack as well. That's 1 strike, total of 8. Base 8, excuse me, total 14, and misses Boss Shalt as well. So he's going to come over here and fly next to the goat that's, you know, kind of standing on the ledge over here. And we'll continue to try and... Actually, no, we'll have him come over here to stay away from Friz. And we'll continue trying to attack Boss Shalt's protecting Lydia here. Okay. That's Cotton's turn. Up next we have Pirga, who is enchanted. We will do another charm roll here for Pirga to see what they do, as Boss Shalt is screaming at Pirga, trying to get him out, to come to his senses and help for the attack. Oh, wrong person. We'll just still use that base 6 here. Let's see here. Yeah, let me get the right check here. Wisdom save on Pirga. Ooh, base 1. That's a fail, and is actually going to go in for the attack. So, knowing what goblins know, the goblin is actually going to come over here and... Whoa. Why did my dog just do that? That's really funny. Delayed spell effect for the teleport. That's weird. I'll have to figure out how that worked. Alright, so... What is Kielbasa? Kielbasa is a blink dog. Alright, so Pirga's going to come in and let's see here. She's going to have him come in and target Boss Shalt since he's the one issuing commands. Yeah, can stay here and is going to go in for an attack of opportunity as she's telling him to defend her by attacking him. So he has the short bow. He's going to have to drop that and go for the scimitar. So he drops the short bow, draws out the scimitar, and goes in for an attack against Boss Shalt at advantage. Alright, with advantage we have a base 16, dealing Boss Shalt 6 points of damage, but Boss Shalt is going to go ahead and use their reaction to, let's see here, to deflect the attack. When a creature the goblin can see targets it with an attack, the goblin chooses another goblin within 5 feet of it. The 2 goblins swap places, and the chosen goblin becomes the target instead. So we do a quick, oops, we'll go ahead and use that feature up. And we do a quick little yoink as the 2 switch around. And then Numbleg takes 5 points of damage, unfortunately, and is bloodied as Pirga slashes their companion here. Who knows if they're good friends or not, but, you know, whatever. Oh, yeah, yes, you're right, Ian, thank you. He did take damage, so now he gets to take a charm save here. So let's take a look again at the feature for Fey Charm, and that is going to be, what is it? DC 14 wisdom save. So, Numbleg takes damage and has to make a wisdom save. So let's see here. 8. Ooh, unfortunately that's a 7 after our -1. And Numbleg is still enchanted, surprisingly enough. Kielbasa, Blink Dog, the essence of Fey jokes. Very true, Patrick, very true. I wasn't even thinking that when it came through. I found the name randomly for Kielbasa, and I was like, huh, Kielbasa, that's kind of funny. But, it was an unintentional Fey joke here. Can't take credit for it. I'm glad you guys made the connection, though, because that is really funny. Alright, that is the end of Pirga's turn. Still enchanted and charmed by Lydia, and we move on to Boss Shalt, who is still angered that Lydia has his friend under control. And, oh, right. No, I see what you're saying there. I had the wrong person targeted. Yeah, they wouldn't have, because but Numbleg is still not charmed. That's why I got confused here. Could they use the reaction? Yeah, he could definitely use the reaction to swap places with Pirga, since Pirga's in within 5 feet. So yeah, we could totally do that if Boss Shalt gets attacked. And it is his turn, so the reaction is renewed, and we will go in for another attack on Lydia. Let's see what happens here with 2 quick swipes. He's moved. He's afraid of... Yeah, no, he'll disengage as a bonus action. So we'll go ahead and do that nimble escape to disengage, and he will pivot for now to get advantage to attack Lydia here. And then we'll probably go back into place to do the whole swap around. Swap-a-rooney. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and get an advantage attack for the first one, and we have a 19 total, 23 to Lydia, who loses concentration on her bark skin and takes 5 points of slashing damage. And then we do one more attack using our flanking rules here, and we get, technically that should have been a disadvantage. Let's see here. That hits, but let me go ahead and roll between the 2 dice here, because I forgot to do it at regular. So our 2 dice are 7 and 9, and would the 9 have missed with a +4? With the 7 to miss, that would have been an 11, and Lydia's AC is... Alright, so both attacks would have hit, so it doesn't matter. So Lydia takes another 4 points of damage as she gives off this eerie moan, like the trees cracking and swaying in the wind. It's this just deep, guttural, earthly moan as she takes a couple hits from Boss Shalt here. And then to finish the turn, he will go ahead and move back into position next to his goblin companions. The meme has been made. Oh no. Check the Discord. I'm sure Herr Doctor has put it in our Discord for meme sections there. So if you want to see what it was, hit the link in the pinned comment there and go ahead and get yourselves into the Discord to check it out. All right. Now that Boss Shalt's turn is done, we go to Kielbasa. And Kielbasa has blinked away and randomly blinked back and is going to rush in to aid Lydia here. And will take flanking with Pirga, since Pirga is still charmed for the time being and considered an ally. So, Kielbasa comes charging in for the bite. And yes, the con save actually was already done, Ian. As part of the attack, you'll see over here on the right side, concentration. DC 10, concentration save. Lydia failed with a 5, and the spell was automatically dropped. That's one of the things I love about Foundry VTT that I'm using here. I have a couple quality of life modules installed, and it makes most of the stuff rather quick and easy. So, Kielbasa comes in for the attack at advantage. And we have ourselves a base 16, total of 19, and hits Boss Shalt for 5 points of damage. But, as suggested before, Boss Shalt is going to swap places here because of their reaction. Yes, it's just another goblin, and since it doesn't matter about if they are allies or not, Boss Shalt is going to swap places with Pirga, and Pirga is now going to take the 5 points of damage. Let's see here, we'll revert that 5 points of damage there, and Pirga gets hit for 5, and now has to make a wisdom saving throw. Let's get rid of that targeting. Alright, and wisdom save, DC 14 to possibly lose. Oh, yes, it's exactly 14. And Pirga comes back to his senses. So we go ahead and lose the charmed effect, but it's kind of like, hey, what's going on here? Why am I bloody all of a sudden? Oh man, I don't even want to try and begin how to pronounce Polish words. I have a friend, a Polish friend, this guy Adam, and yeah, just listening to him talk when he was speaking with his wife was rather interesting. But yeah, we'll definitely need that translated, possibly, Herr Doctor. All right, so Pirga gets woken out of his senses, and we'll move on here. Oh yeah, which roughly translates to no sausage for the dogs, meaning to deny someone something that they do not deserve, which makes Kielbasa even more funny for her. Oh, that's great. Oh, the layers of this joke, which was just thrown together by synchronicity, are amazing for tonight's game. I love this. All right, so that is Kielbasa's turn, and we move on to Lotus here, who is going to move up a little closer to Friz and attempt to attack Friz once more with the short bow to try and poison him. All right, moving on, we take the short bow attack. Friz is, let's see here. Oof! Friz gets hit with a total of 25 for 1 point of piercing damage. And then makes a Constitution saving throw, DC 10. Friz succeeds with a 20, folks. With a 20. And avoids being poisoned. Oh, that is fantastic. Good on you, Friz. But he still takes the 1 point of damage. It's not reflected here because of the way our 5e environment works. Unfortunately, because of the concentration or the Constitution check, it kind of negates the damage because it's thinking the damage is part of the concentration check, not part of the poison. Unfortunately, there's no way to make the distinction between the two as of right now. All right, so that's Lotus's turn, and we move on to Lydia. Lydia is going to, once again, probably as a, is it a bonus action? No, it's a regular action. Let's see, what is Lydia going to do? Well, now that she's lost concentration, she's going to go ahead and try to grab everyone and keep them in check, I think, with the entangle. But she is concentrating... Well, I don't know. Shillelagh isn't concentration. I keep forgetting that. I'm not seeing anything here for concentration anyways. Let's just double check in the details. And... yeah, not concentration. Very good. Yeah, my boy Friz! Yes, Friz is our special boy. If you want to know why, check old episodes of Monsters vs. Monster where Friz showed up occasionally trying to sneak around and steal stuff. It was pretty interesting. Alright, so our Dryad here, Lydia, is going to go ahead and cast her spell Entangle to try and grab all of these, all of these goblins here. So the target is a 20-foot square within 90 feet and could be restrained. Yes, so we'll go ahead and do that. Can we? No, we cannot get Friz for sure. And we will go ahead and plop that down here. And a big old entanglement comes into place. Oh dear, if we look here on the right side in our chat bar, we have a DC 14 strength save. And all of our goblins fail. Boss Shalt with a 2, Numbleg with an 8, and Pirga with an 8 as well. All of our goblins are now restrained. Except for Friz. And all of them are restrained. So this isn't looking so good for Boss Shalt, who made it out of the Kobold incursion just barely last time. Alright, end of round 3. We go to the top of round 4 here, and things aren't looking so good for our goblins. But as many of you predicted, things weren't going good for the goblins right away, as it is. So, let's go ahead and make our D100 check to see what happens here. And go! That is a 64. Unfortunately, nothing happens with that check. And with that, we now move on to Ludwig, who is going to... What's Ludwig going to do here? With everyone restrained, I think he's going to just kind of back up a step. He'll take an attack of opportunity for sure, as both our goblins are restrained, so they're going to... They should be, let's see here, at disadvantage for the attack. Yes, let's see here. A restrained creature's speed becomes 0. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage. The creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. And the creature has a disadvantage on dex saves. Okay, so Ludwig is going to take a step back. Actually, we'll do this real quick here first. He's going to take an attack of opportunity from our boy here, Numbleg, who is at super disadvantage. Yeah, base 2 feebly misses. And then Pirga is also going to take a reaction attack. And, base 12 hits Ludwig with a 16, dealing 5 points of slashing damage. And Ludwig backs up, snarling and licking their wounds as he's bloodied. And that is the end of Ludwig's turn. We now have Friz, who is looking at the situation. And as we know here, not a fan of Boss Shalt. And while everyone here is, kind of taken in here, he's going to play a game here. Let's do a little performance check with Friz to see what's going to happen here. So we'll scroll on down to performance. -1. And gets an 18, total of 17, and starts to play up like he's poisoned. He's going to wobble a bit, and then he's going to fall off the edge, splashing into the water. For 64, you hear a distant, in Italian accent, Yahoo! Nice. I like that. That's pretty good, Hair Doctor. And Friz, quote unquote, falls. He's like, oh no, I've been poisoned! And falls off, splashing into the water. And disappears, swimming, starts to swim away after recovering from himself, holds his breath and swims away. They're goblins, they're chaotic and whatnot. So that's Friz. Friz is doing his thing. We come up to Numbleg, who is restrained. He's probably going to attempt an attack at Lydia. Can't really do too much here. And we'll go ahead and make an attack. This should be at disadvantage. So that's going to be a 14. Hits Lydia. Wounds her, but Lydia luckily succeeds on the Constitution save to hold the entanglement in place. Lydia's not doing so hot here, and we move on to Cotton. Okay, so Cotton... actually, hold on real quick. Double check something. Creature in the area, spells... A creature restrained by the plant can use its action to make a strength check against their spell's DC. On a success, it frees itself. When the spell ends, the conjured plant's wilt away. Okay, so they have to make an action to go through. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure if it was a free attempt at the end as well. So up next, we have Cotton here, who's going to move up and attack Pirga, who is not poisoned. And I'm going to give him partial cover for this because of people that are in the way here. Although he is flying up. So I think that would give him advantage. So I'm actually not going to. He's going to fly up a little bit, actually. A little higher. We'll say 15 feet gives him clear view to see Pirga without any kind of problems. And actually, we'll give him, like I said, give him advantage on the attack here. Because, well, yeah, he's restrained anyway, so it doesn't matter. So he gets advantage. He gets, like, double advantage. Hits Pirga for 1 point of piercing damage. And Pirga succeeds the Constitution save to not get poisoned. But still takes that 1 point of damage. And both Numbleg and Pirga are hanging on to dear life here. Yeah, exactly, Ian. Friz is looking out for number one. There's a little contention there between Friz and Boss Shalt. Like I said, go check out the I'll have to link to the episode of the Kobold incursion to see why. Okay. Yeah, it's the Goblins versus Kobold. So if I haven't gotten to that linked yet, definitely go and check in on that one. All right, so next is Pirga, who is going to attempt to break out. As wounded as he is, he's going to try a strength save. And let's see here. What was the DC check? That was a strength save. Oh, 14 strength save. Okay. Let's see if Pirga can get out of this. And we get a 2. No, Pirga is stuck as he tries to, like, come on, Dad. And trying to break free of the tangles and cannot get loose. That is Pirga's turn. Boss Shalt is up next. And Boss Shalt sees, looks behind as is restrained, sees Friz tumbling, believes. Actually, we'll do a quick insight check against the performance check they gave off to see what happens here. So we're going against the DC 17 that Friz gave off. Let's get rid of that real quick. And insight check against the DC 17. Oh, that is a 16. Boss Shalt believes that Friz was poisoned by Lotus and falls off the cliff to their demise as well. And Boss Shalt goes, Friz, you will be missed, but not really. I hated you anyways. Good riddance. And attempts to break free of the entanglements as well. All right. With that, we make a strength save. Has to be a 14. Oh, that was almost a 17 and can't break free of Lydia's bonds. And that is where we are going to end this adventure here, this encounter of Monsters vs. Monster. As we get to the bottom here, both Lydia and Kilbasa back up, and everyone starts to swarm in and holds them all into place. As Friz, let's see here, real quick, Friz will make a stealth check and see if he can get away, because currently everyone is focused, so I'm going to give him advantage on the stealth check. And let's see what happens here. Oof. Total of 15. That's pretty sure that's enough to beat passive perceptions. 13, and 14. Yes, so that's enough to beat passive perceptions as Friz stealthily sneaks away. Oh, no. Pierogi. So we've got another food joke here with Pirga. Boss Shalt. Yes, Boss Salt, for sure. That boss is very salty, nonetheless. So, that is where we will end round 4 here with a win for our Fae friends. So our fairy friends ended the encounter here. We will do one more D100 check for the end of round 4 to see if anything weird happens. And with that D100 check, we get a 41. Nothing happens, unfortunately. And with that, we end. As the Fae take and capture these 3 goblins to interrogate them and to figure out what is going on, why they attacked. And Friz, our plucky little goblin here, is able to quickly dash away to safety to loot from another battle map another day. All right. There we go, folks. That is the end for tonight's weekly Monster vs. Monster encounters here. Let's take a look at the poll and end it here to see who voted for who. So we had a total of 42% of you voted for the Fairy Friends, 42% for Chaotic Potatoes, also known as the Goblins, and 14% of you voted for the Angry Wind. That was our surprise monster for tonight, and unfortunately the Angry Wind didn't get a chance to show up. They were doing something else, or doing something somewhere else in the world. Thank you all so much for voting. Thank you all so much for chatting with me as we did another Monsterverse monster here on the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel here. And I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone that was in chat. Hair Doctor, Ian Ravik, Patrick Lesnow. I hope I got that right. I'm sorry if I butchered it. Let's see here. Ian, Patrick, Hair Doctor, Vincent, Roberto. There's Flame Loud was here, and Lucan. I believe that was everyone. Thank you so much for joining me and chatting with us and keeping the live stream lively tonight. You guys have all been amazing, or you have all been amazing. And if anyone watches this at the end, or, you know, as a video on demand later on and gets all the way to the end, you're amazing as well. What was the Angry Wind? Oh, you ask. Well, the Angry Wind was an Elder Tempest. That's what the Angry Wind was. I figured, we're all the way up in the mountains. I needed some kind of devastating air elemental to show up. To be expected, magic is just too powerful. Yes, it really is. At this point, especially with Entangle, that was going to happen eventually. But, you know, things were kind of back and forth here for a little bit. But, yes, so for the business here, the battle map was by Che and Peku. If you'd like to get battle maps by them, you can go to the link in the description at patreon.com/chepeku. The names for all of our monsters were created by fantasynamegenerator.com, and the virtual tabletop of choice is Foundry. I love Foundry. I upgraded from Roll20 some time ago, a couple years ago actually, like right around 2020. We all know why, wink wink. And yeah, it's been fantastic. The music is a free resource by YouTube Music, and it's called Imperial March or Imperial Forces. So if in case you wanted to get that for yourself to use in one of your games, you're more than welcome to. And Patrick, yes, says, thanks for everything. Video was amazing as well, as always. Thank you so much, Patrick. I appreciate the compliments, and I hope you enjoy, join me tomorrow as hopefully the Ever Sidequesters get together, and we venture further into the Pathfinder Beginner Box, 2nd Edition Beginner Box, to continue to see what's going on in the basements of the Otari Fishery. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, this is me, Andrew, for the YouTube channel here, asking the question, are your encounters even rated? Have a good night, folks, and I will see you maybe tomorrow or next week for sure.